And we are live. Welcome back to On the King's Dime. It is Monday night on the 3rd of February. We are here to talk about the Perth Wildcats game and then preview the Phoenix game coming up next weekend. This weekend, rather. I've got Andy with me as always.
Ahoy, hoy.
Just scoot your screen down a little bit. Can't really see you, but just see your head.
That's all you need to see. That's it. That's the main thing you need to see.
We're going to break down this Perth game from the weekend. Is there much else to talk about? No, let's just gloss over those.
We can laugh at the old Wynn Entertainment Centre being just abandoned because water rained down through the ceiling.
Yeah, let's start with that, man. Did you see that? Were you watching that?
I watched the replay. It was just like, oh, it's raining inside the stadium.
Yeah, I saw them standing at half court because I kind of just had it on when I was doing something, and then I wasn't paying attention. They were still standing there, and I was like, it's been 15 minutes. Why are they still standing around? I don't understand. And then they're doing a layup line, warming up. I'm like, what the hell? So I turned it up, and they're like, oh yeah, play's about to be abandoned because the roof's leaking on the court, and then the refs talking to the two guys, and like, yeah, we're gonna have to abandon the game. Sorry lads, that's it. And then they called it today. It was like, okay, Breakers get the points. But, there's implications here with the finals, with Perth, probably could have run up a better lead, got some more for and against. I feel bad for them, but...
Oh, well.
Did we have a game where it was called off in preseason last year?
Yeah.
That wasn't there, was it?
It was up in Newcastle. No, that was floor was too slippery.
Yeah, it wasn't condensation or something?
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. It was just a shit stadium.
Magnets, always with the magnets. That was an interesting that game. Couple of other sort of weird results. The Bullets are just storming home. Melbourne beating the Wildcats. Taipans, of course, just destroying my tips, getting destroyed. Taipans destroyed the Hawks. But the other thing, I just kind of want to quickly gloss over that. Paul Smith, the owner of the Kings incident. Do we need to really talk about that and inform the public of our opinions?
I don't think we really need to. I think that he's kind of has a little bit of a valid opinion, I think, in the fact that you're meant to celebrate Aboriginal art, of the landscape, the people, all that kind of stuff, and not really just put how many championships you've won into that. It's not really about that. It's about Indigenous culture.
For me, it's about... You bring us something from your community, and we'll display it on our jerseys.
Yeah, and I still think I still think the Hawks have got the best Indigenous jersey in the league. It's awesome. But yeah, valid point. I think a little bit silly.
Yeah, crassly put across. I think was you know what I mean. But that's that medium. Twitter. That's social media medium.
Yeah, it's like sending a text message that you don't mean to write. It's just comes across a bit weird and a bit, maybe forefront and forthright, but I think
people just got a little bit upset and they wanted to get upset. And reading some of the replies, I'm not a veteran on social media. I don't, I'm not someone who sits there on social media a lot of the time. And, from the King's Time account, I'm just sitting there scratching my head, just going, some of these replies, man, what the hell? Just chill out. You don't need to get this upset over something that probably doesn't really directly affect you. In terms of the people, and then he obviously goes and has a powwow with the artist. Because I was saying to you before we started this, I was watching the halftime thing, and even I kind of was just a bit that's weird. You're making them put championships on their jersey. Aren't they supposed to put something from their culture on the jersey so we can display it? And even I was like, that was weird. But I didn't go on social media and make a crass comment like that. It was a bit uncalled for. But he's a pillar in the community. Kind of a well-known guy, and they chose to get a little bit upset, which he took on the chin. He said, okay, yeah, fair enough, and he had a powwow with the artist, and they worked it out. And then, weirdly, people were just still calling him to apologize. It's to who? He had a powwow with the actual guy. Who else does he need to apologize to? I don't get it. People on Twitter?
To everyone, sorry. Sorry,
what?
All people of Twitter. Yeah, that's it, mate. Outrage culture.
Yeah, it's weird.
Problem with modern society. Outrage culture. Here's some beer placement for that outrage culture. Drinking on a podcast.
Blow that out. We're no product placements on the King's Time. We're clean. Completely crowdfunded with on Patreon. Yeah, it's up there. So yeah, I was just watching it going, I'm not going to comment. Like, this is like, what is this? I don't understand what this is, but apparently that's how it works. And I was like, I'm out. I don't want to engage in this. Like, whatever. He said something stupid. The organization didn't like it. He worked it out. Everyone doesn't need to get upset. I don't get it.
End of story. Indigenous round jerseys are cool. Let's move on from there.
And it really overshadowed, because I didn't want to say, man, watching Will Weaver talk about it, man, so articulately, and just like I had goosebumps listening to it. Like, it made me stop while I was listening to the press conference and really like focus in on what he was saying. So articulated, and not even like like toe the company line, be a good orator about stuff. Like, it was like it came from his heart, and like as an American coming into this league, understanding Indigenous like recognition and like wanting to sort of engage, I was like, man, what a champ. And it just completely overshadowed that. And I was like, now no one's going to hear about what he said. Like, this sucks. So yeah, that was a bit of a shame.
Welcome to my problem with outrage culture.
I know. It's
outrage culture.
That was my first taste of it, and I was just like, I'm out.
It's horrible. Don't bite into the thing. Does it feel a little bit like the league is just kind of coming to a climax, and some of the teams are finding their form finally, and I can't really pick who's going to win this? You go back to round 8, 9, you'd say, oh, Sydney is just so far ahead. Are they? There's a lot of pieces still yet to come back. Saw a bit of Lisch in this game on the weekend.
Yeah, how's that going to fit down his first bucket? That was pretty sweet.
Yeah, it was sweet. But how's that going to fit in? We're going to throw him, just 8 minutes a night? Up until then, he's got 2 games to kind of get into it. What do you do? Is he full fit? Do you play jae'sean Taylor? Like, it's a very... And just Casper Ware chucking up Brooks again for another week. It's just... Yeah. Where does this go?
We'll get on to the game itself. It's... Like, sorry, I'm just getting the box score back up here.
High scoring game. Very high scoring game.
It was actually like a really, really interesting game, like a really good game. We didn't have Bogut or Didi, and that makes an impact. Like a lot of, the usual stereotypical, Bogut's not there, so it's not the same team. And then part of me was like wanting to see this. Like, I want to see Xavier Cooks at center. And we played that small ball lineup. It started the game really well, and I was like, sweet, like we stumbled onto something here. This is good. I like this small man lineup. It's actually really good against a team like Perth, who has K in the post, and then I thought Plumlee was pretty much unplayable. And how many minutes did he end up playing? Only 15 minutes. And people were like, I don't know why Plumlee's not out there. And I was like, because he's unplayable, man. We ripped him off the court basically with JT. Xavier Cooks was out rebounding him. Like, JT inside was just bodying him out of the way. He didn't have a chance. And setting screens, and illegal ones too. Like, I saw some social media, they're just refs were out to get him in this game, and then I watched the screens back, and I'm like, you can't just step in his screens with your legs out. Like, we should be calling these screens, like, which were probably the only fouls that Perth were getting caught. Yeah, that we got. We'll get to that a little bit later, but again, like, for me, watching this was more about, I want to see this team without Bogut, because I want to see what this team's got in case something happens. But at the same time, like, I think we need to find a wrinkle here. There's something we need to find to get over the Perth hump. I'm not like buying completely into this game meant everything. It really, this means something going into the finals. Like, it doesn't mean anything. I think on our night, we could probably beat Perth twice in 3 games. At the same time, like, Perth could beat us, because I think both teams are really evenly matched, and both teams deserve to be on the top.
It seems to be how chalky Clint Steindl is for the night. It really is. Like, he was just shooting some ridiculous shots.
It's just,
and they're not. They weren't even. I mean, okay, he's a good 3-point shooter. They weren't even good looks.
Nah,
they were kind of run
bags,
around,
man. And he does this every time against us. I'm just like, get out of here, Clint Steindl, because I've watched a fair bit of the league this season. I didn't really watch it last season, and like at the end of last season, I was like, man, get Clint Steindl. I want him in this team, like, just to like, he shoots crazy against us. But it was because I was only watching the Sydney games. Then watching this season, I'm like, Clint Steindl, like, he's shooting the 3-ball terribly. Not terribly, 41%, but only on like 1.88 makes a game. Like, It's not. And then in this game, he's just like knocking these flaming bags down. I'm like, get out of here, man. Like, what is this?
Get out of here, Clint Steindale.
And then I thought we played quite well against Cotton too. I didn't think he had that good a game. They had a double game week, so maybe a little bit of fatigue. But 9 of 25, I thought he unraveled a little bit as the game went on, and it was interesting to see us approach that. We didn't get flustered. We had those couple of runs in the third, like early in the third, and then in the fourth to bring it back. And I thought, it was a really interesting game because we had a couple of guys out, but not because of the stereotypical, they were crap without Bogut. Like, they're always, going to lose without Bogut. You know what I mean? I don't think it was that kind of game.
I don't think you play Bogut against Perth in a final series. It's kind of like, okay, Plumlee's on the floor, but then you put Cooks on to rip him out. Like, where do you play Bogut? Because you're essentially down a defender against Perth. They're a high screen 3-point shooting team. Bogut is completely useless on the 3-point line. You need a quick defending small ball center. Cooks, Moller, if Moller's back, someone who can get up on the line, defend the line. You're going to have to play man on defense. You can't play a camper in the lane against Perth, I think, in a final series. If you do that to the detriment, you've got a deep rotation. Take guys out, just make them run around. 9 of 25 is kind of a win. If you take that a win for Cotton for an evening. Unfortunately, Clint Steindale with his flaming bags of doo-doo that were hitting it. And I think Nick Kay had it
from 3.
Yeah,
and then Nick Kay is just solid all around in the post. Yeah. I think the matchup really of the season for the NBL rather All-Star team is basically Kay versus Tate. And Kay is probably a better scorer from 6 to 12 feet from the basket and can shoot a 3 probably better than Tate. But Tate's inside game, he's just way better. He's way more masterful, and he had a fantastic game in this game. But I thought Cotton, if you force him to shoot threes, like not let him get to his threes, like if you force him to shoot sort of contested ones, he was throwing up some bricks. We let him get inside a little bit, and that was an aspect where you just go, well, the 3 ball wasn't dropping, so he went inside. And like I tweeted out, like part of you goes, get up on him, man. But then the other part of you goes, then he just gets fouls. Like he gets the just most ridiculous, like what? That's a foul? Like what fouls that I've ever seen in the NBL? Like and then Casper Ware got hit on one of them, like just train wrecked, and you're just like, how is what? How is that not a foul? Like, and part of me goes like, especially in that third quarter run where we had that like really good stretch of we ran, like we pushed the ball, we were really fast in transition, we were getting buckets off of Perth misses, and I tweeted out, like it's really good when there's no whistles, the play isn't broken up. We're really good at sort of getting back into games and really getting rhythm scoring going. And then there was a bunch of whistles, and you could tell this team then still goes, oh, quick, don't be too aggressive then. Like, okay, dial back the aggression, guys. And you're like, man,
it ruins
totally
the game.
Our flow.
It ruins the game, and kind of it makes them not step up and take him on the inside as well. You can kind of operate in that float 12 to 15 feet range. And it's just, it's not in the spirit of the game, I don't think. But the reffing has been consistently terrible all year. That's what we can say. It's been consistently terrible all year.
I think like going into a finals and playing in a final series, like you're gonna put it on the line and just try and be all up in his grill. Do you like he had 9 free throws? I think in the first half. I think he had 9 free throws in the first half. I'm like, get out of here, man. But in a final series, you're gonna have to just be on him and be aggressive with him and live with the fouls, I guess. What do you do?
That's why you got guard depth. You'd put Deshaun Taylor on him early and you let him foul out early, and then you get in later on and just tire him out, make him run. The one thing Deshaun Taylor is good at doing is making Cotton run the whole game. He's always chasing. I suppose, he's going to have to play heavy minutes in a final series. You've just got to hope that your offense on the night is better than their offense, because defensively, they're not a great defensive team. However, they do get a shitload of calls.
Yeah.
For some reason.
In their building too. And weird ones too. And out of flow, like some calls I get where you just like, there was a call at one end, so we're going to call it consistent at the other end. Like we missed a call here, we'll give a call there. But these ones are like Cotton and Kay just get like, there was a couple where like Kay just comes under the basket and just hooks a dude and then lays it in and gets a foul, and you're just like, oh man, like that was hooking. And then like you go back and you watch it and you see who gives the call, and it's it's the lead official, and the lead official can't even see, like he's looking at the back of Nick Kay and can't see him elbowing the dude to hook for position, and you're like, man, let your slot guy give that. Like, why are you giving that under the basket? Like, just. It's painful, man. And again, we whinged about it all season. And the other thing is like, can we see some of that now building, please? Any? No.
Yeah.
How many times this season have you just been like, sweet, like we're getting all the calls here. This is great. Like, and Casper wears one of the like, and JT go to the rack a lot, and JT too. Like, dudes just land on him, bump him out of the way, like do the kick it, stand up, but really they're like advancing into him. But just he's such a unit that you don't see him get knocked off the ball or anything. So I don't know.
He doesn't flail as well. Like Casper does a bit of flailing. Bryce Cotton is an epic flailer.
Yeah, he loves a good flail. He loves the like when you're trailing, when you lock and trail, sort of jumping back into people. And Mitch Norton as well, I've noticed loves to get the head down and gets the call too for just like putting his head into someone as he lays the ball in. And you're like, no, that's not a foul, man. Like the dude's going straight up. He's leaning into it. But again, you go and look at these officials and it's always the guy on the baseline who can't really see it giving the call. And you're just like, let your guys call that, man. Come on, dude. But JT, again, superb on the night. 23 points, 10 of 13, 9 of 12 inside. He hit his 3, 1 of 1, and then 2 of 5 from the line. I think he did give away burgers. But this Cooks-Tate combo, I was like, I like this.
Yeah, it's good.
And it's a shame that we've only got a 2-game sample size, 3-game sample size, really, towards the end of this season to test that out. I would have liked to have seen this be a go-to, but of course we've got Bogut. You can't really just sit a quarter of the season, Bogut, while these two play. Like,
he kind of has sat a quarter of the season. What, he's played 16 to 19 minutes most nights. So he really has sat half the season. It's just we've been lucky enough to have some big players in the way, and Kickett's actually been playing pretty well. Did probably not shoot the best this game.
Yeah, 4 of 9 from 3. It's not bad.
It's not bad. It's not
volume though. Like he's got to shoot volume now. Like I think.
Yeah.
And then part of you just expects him to knock it down, and you're like, nice. He's at 10 o'clock, like wide open. If he doesn't knock it down, you're just like, and they're the ones where you're just like, oh, that's a bad shot, and then you're like, wait, no, it's not really. He just missed it. Like that's a good shot for him. And DT, of course, shout out to him. He had 2 of 2 from 3 and 4 of 5 from the field. He was pretty good as well. And his defense, he just overhedges a bit too much. And we're not, like the scheme isn't, we shuffle in where he's overhedging. The scheme is like, oh, that dude just overhedges. Like we'll just try and deal with it after he's come off the screen and there's heaps of space. And you're like step in. But you can tell it's not the scheme. Like it's just, he does it because that's his tendency. So.
Yeah, and he comes around the back a bit and fouls, and he plays into Cotton a little bit, but he does run Cotton ragged.
Actually, you're right. Yeah, he does. He does stay with Cotton a little bit. Runs him ragged. I don't know, man. I think you look at Casper Ware from 2 years. Like I've been trying to put this video together. I've watched footage of Casper Ware from 2 years ago. He was a lot less dense 2 years ago, and he had pace. And now he's got this power that he almost doesn't use. Really?
He doesn't need. He's a point guard. Like you don't need to be a nugget. You need to just be able to shoot the ball.
Like it works, and I've noticed like he's added into his repertoire. Like he'll go into traffic, into contact, and bump dudes off, and I like that. But at the same time, that's got to sap you for energy too. And if you're not quick enough, I think Cotton's got the right mix of like pace and skill and agility, rather than that power. But this is a team that's got a lot of power. Like Sydney's a team that has a lot of power to exploit, and over the course of a season, we've done quite well to do that. We'll just circle back quickly to Kevin Lisch. I think he's going to play 10 minutes in these games so he can be eligible for the finals. I think that was why that was happening.
Okay.
Which will be very interesting because of the status of Taylor. I don't know if Moller returns. I think it's Taylor that has to go out.
It is.
But I'm not 100% sure about that. I'm pretty sure that's what happens though.
It is because all the other spots a permanent contract. So,
so I don't know. How did Lisch look to you, man? I thought he defended quite well. He looked quite quite
looked good.
stringy.
He hit that
It was
bucket.
good. He hit that bucket.
He just needs game time. It's like anything. You need game time. Is he gonna get enough? Probably not. And that's like, do you bring Moller back in that situation when you know you're going to need that extra guard playing a guard-heavy team like Perth potentially in the final series, and it could be very useful having jae'sean Taylor run guys off the line constantly, because really you've got three centers. You've got Bogut, Kickett, and Cooks. jae'sean Tate's going to play 32 minutes a night. So where do you really want? And Newley, where do you really want the backup? And it's kind of like Moller and Cooks are kind of the same player. Maybe it's Moller that stays on the bench and gives way to jae'sean Taylor for this run, and Moller comes back and has a good season next year. But that's where you'd want to be thinking at this point.
So, like, I think Moller's needed, to be honest. If it was possible, I think you would pretty much jettison Lucas Walker if Moller comes back, and it has any. There's a chance that Moller can have an impact. I think you just jettison Lucas Walker because Moller can kind of play power forward.
Yeah, Lucas Walker's a guaranteed deal.
He's guaranteed,
jae'sean Taylor's injury cover. So
I think that'd be the scenario though. Like that's the spot you could get away with bringing Moller back. Like if Moller came back for Walker, that's the spot you could get away with doing that, because I kind of feel like we need Taylor a little bit. And I don't like how back is Lisch? How much back is Lisch that you go, yeah, okay, cool. Like we'll keep him in. I don't know, man. He's just such a good defender that I'd take kind of a 50% fit Lisch over Taylor. Plus, he can create his own shot too. And although Taylor has been a little bit hit and miss and has shown some aptitude for creating buckets for himself, I still I wish we had Lisch firing fit, man.
It is a big loss, but it'll be interesting to see what happens in these next two games. Should be an easy run home, you would think.
Yeah.
Obviously had Southeast Melbourne's number all year, and I think the Hawks have just gone slowly into oblivion.
Yeah, it's just they're in party mode. It's the end of the season, and then I think you were saying LaMelo's going to stay, and LaMelo's gone.
Just didn't tell anyone. It's like, yep, I'm out. See you guys. I didn't even say see you. Just went, I'm out.
Bye.
Bye.
Let's chat quickly about that. How did that experiment go? I part of me is just like, man, he could have made a better basketball impact. But the other thing is just like, dude, good stuff. Like you had a crack. You got injured. It sucks. Your team probably wasn't going to make the finals anyway. Fair enough. Whatever.
Yeah, and I think you're exactly right. It was a bit of a spectacle when it was here. Drew some crowds. Got a team that was probably lower in caliber, some publicity, and put on a show and showed that he could play and all that. I still think probably NBA might be, a little bit too much for now. But it was good while it lasted. It was fun. Bit of,
I hope we see more, man. I really do hope we see more guys come down. And I think
Swaggy P.
The Swagganoth.
He's officially called out on Twitter, I'll be there next year in the NBL.
It's too early, but you can't be calling that out and saying as legit without having to sign a contract, surely.
Why not?
Maybe you'll just come down for one game and just be like, yo, I'm in the crowd, and then just leave.
Who came down a couple of years ago for the Kings and played 6 games? Who was it? I was trying to rack my brain about this. Who was it?
Perry. No, that was the Perry Ellis era, right? I know who it was. I know who you're talking about. It's just not on the top of my head.
Is he a bald man? Was it Steve Blake? Is it?
Yeah, it was Blake, and then he just leave?
Yeah,
he's a white guy. Kings, Steve Blake. I'm sure it was Steve Blake. Struggling with the NBL ball. Has been partly to blame for his shooting slump. That his critics questioning his move to Australia. The NBA guard struggled offensively through his first 4 games in the Royal Purple, shooting just 26% from the field and even lower, 18% from long range. It's been quite a good experience in some aspects and tough in others. The Steve Blake era, man. God, that was a sorry team, just going back to watching some of that footage. I've had to watch Casper for Melbourne footage like playing against Sydney and just like, seeing guys like Perry Ellis back in the Todd Blanchfield days with Jason Kadee. It's just like, whoa, that was a sorry team for what we have now. It's so much better to watch with JT and
very,
like
very
that.
different. Very, very different. It's good to see. All
right. Sorry, what were you saying?
Yeah, anything else from the Perth game? Do you think that
Newley played quite well?
Yeah, I think he played pretty well, but that's what you want to see night in, night out from Newley.
I think it was more aggressive. He was more aggressive and better defensively, and I think he's going to be important because he's do you reckon out of Cooks, Tate, Bruce Taylor, where Newley might be the worst kind of size defender? Do you reckon out of that group?
Probably can't guard guys his own size and bigger, and struggles with very quick guys off the dribble. He's kind of in that weird in between. I mean, he's 35. Come on, give the guy a break. Like, he's still El Toro.
Hey, I don't think he's 35 yet. Let me just check that. He's 34, man. He's about to turn 35, all right? So he's not 35 yet.
Okay, well, I'll take that back.
He's not much older than you, man.
Dude, I'm 32. What are you on about?
That's like 2 years. What's 2 years in the grand scheme of things?
Yeah, no, I'm not that old.
You're not as old as 35. But I thought he's going to be the key, I think, in this series. Like, if he can defend White with any sort of confidence and competence, and then have Cooks, Tate, and Newley sort of switching a little bit, and then have, buy-in from Kickett, I think that's kind of the key to beating this Perth team, right? Like, you've got to accept that Bryce Cotton's going to be faster than everyone. You've got to accept that Nick Kay's going to get buckets inside, or at least attempt to get buckets inside. And then you kind of got to keep Norton and Steindl quiet somehow. So I think he's going to be the key, man, to just that, like, cleaning up around the edges from those two big ones, which is Cotton and Kay. Yeah,
and you really got to get Casper better shots. It's not his fault that he has to shoot around the dribble, man. You got to get him those step in threes, high screen step in threes. We've been saying this week in, week out, but I haven't seen any kind of play set of the sort. But
nothing.
hey,
Nada. Zero.
You watch his
spoiler alert. The video's coming. Nada.
Yeah, you watch how he played in Melbourne, man. The amount of high screen, down screen action for him to shoot on the run is just crazy.
It was
crazy.
And then we're watching Phoenix and other teams like that run these intricate sort of, 3-man high weaves, 3-man high screen action. And there's just none of that this year. And I don't know. I'm not going to be like, Will Weaver, what are you doing? But at the same time, I'm like, Will Weaver, what are you doing? So, but yeah, I think anything else from this Perth game, do you reckon?
No, mate, we can go on to 3-2-1s.
Yeah, 3-2-1s. Just bringing it up now. I still, I'd love to see us play a full season of that Cooks Tate front court.
Would be interesting. Small ball.
I got to shout out Cooks because he was so good, man, playing center. Like, I did not expect him to defend the rim, grab rebounds, just play with crazy amounts of hustle. And just the two-man combo of Tate and, like, Tate was just eating space, and then Xavier Cooks was leaping over everyone, getting rebounds. I was like, I like this. This is great. I like it. I like it a lot. All right.
Bit different to David Ware and Dane Pineau.
Dane Pineau. Oh, man. Although, he started pretty hot for the Phoenix, and then, it's just been Dane Pineau. Had a couple of 20 rebound games. Monstered.
Cool.
All right, Perth. 3-2-1.
JT 3.
Yeah, Tate for me gets 3. Yeah, 2 for you.
2 for me would have to be Cooks. I think he just had a fantastic defensive game.
I like it, Cooks. I went with Kickett because I thought he was glue off the bench.
Yeah, and 1 for me was Kickett because of that exact reason.
And then I went with Newley because I thought he was really good defensively. And he just, like, sometimes he is just a bit like, oh, I won't just, get in transition. And you're like, dude, like, push the ball, get in transition. No one's going to be like, Brad, Why did you storm down the court and try and finish through guys? Like, no one's going to say that. They're all going to be like, dude, push the ball. Like, you're one of the best finishers in the league. If you get a step on your man, like, push that thing. And that's going to be another key, I think. Like, you got to just relentlessly push the ball against Perth off of their misses. You know, force them into misses and then push the ball. And we've got the team to do it, whether we're kind of playing rope-a-dope and not really doing that in the regular season. But, man, I want to see us just relentless running up the court, fast break.
Push that ball.
Push that ball, boys. All right.
How do we go in tips this week? How do we go in tips?
I was all over the place. So I ended up 1, 2, 3, 4. You ended up with 4 as well.
Oh, no.
I got the Melbourne, that bloody 36ers against the Breakers. Just a disgrace. Just a disgraceful performance. And then we had the Taipans each. And then I got the Bullets against United. Pretty much cementing the Bullets. I think that was pretty much...
That's the Bullets locked in?
Pretty close too. I think it was pretty much Melbourne. That's it for Melbourne. I'm just looking at the ladder here now. Melbourne could win their last 2 games and make it, but the Bullets only need to win this week against... just bringing it back to the Breakers. They got 1 game against the Breakers Friday, and then Melbourne play it. So if they secure it, I think that's it for Melbourne.
Wow,
that's pretty huge, eh?
Wow.
And the Breakers were pretty close to making it. Again, like I swear those commentators last week were like, the Breakers are gone. That's it. It's over. So that's kind of like this is a big grudge match, man, because if the Breakers win, the Bullets have a game in hand though. So who knows? It's gonna be really interesting because I kind of want to play the Bullets. I think we can beat the Bullets in the semi.
I think you beat the Breakers, man. They got to fly twice to Sydney. No thanks.
I don't want to fly, man. Look, we have to fly. That's worse for us.
Only 1 game. Just don't take Bogut. You'll be fine.
Yeah, but hey, Bogut, just stay home. Just don't go there. Don't go the away trip, Bogut. Yeah, you're right. They'd have to fly if it was a 3-game series.
That's it.
All right, let's get on to the tips for the upcoming week, and then we'll wrap it up. Nice short one because it was just one salty game with not much happening. First game is the aforementioned New Zealand Breakers at Brisbane.
You'd have to go the Bullets. You'd have to.
Home. So they're on a 6-game winning streak, or 5 or 6-game winning streak. I'm going to sneak the Breakers in there just because I need tips badly. I'm just going to go opposites from you. This Hawks at United.
I think United could take that one.
And I've just zagged again. I'm going to be going United. Types at the 36ers.
Types
Perth, man. It'll be interesting if that ends up being
the bogey team, Perth's bogey team, especially if they go hard in the finals.
Kings at Phoenix on...
I think this one is quite easily the Kings.
Sunday afternoon. And then Bullets at Wildcats. So that's Bullets playing their game in hand against the Wildcats.
I'm gonna go the Bullets.
The Bullets on a roll, on a tear. I'll go Perth just because I need the points. And that is it. A short week. Do we need to just quickly discuss the Phoenix game?
I think if we can just discuss Mitch Creek falling off a small cliff, and really that's the kind of it's a wrap, folks, of their season.
It's sad, man, because they started so well, and I was like, ooh, the Phoenix might make these finals here. This could be very interesting. They were hot. They were playing with pace. They looked really, really well coached.
I think they're a center away from doing something really. You know, Dane Cano can have 20 games all his life, but he's a backup center at best. You need someone who can stretch the floor, who can maybe shoot a bit of mid-range. Maybe Sean Long would work well in that 3-way dynamic. Who knows? Maybe a deferral pattern, but yeah, that's we could see that coming a mile away with playing 38 minutes a game.
And the Ty Wesley injury didn't help that either.
No.
And with Kyle Adnam, decent off the bench, but kind of like a trier, but yet a net minus, in my opinion. You know, defensively, just easily exploitable. But look, if I was Pinot, man, in this offseason, I would just shoot, 3 balls and sort of back down fall away jumpers or something, like some sort of 5-foot shot and a 3-ball. If he could develop that, he's just going to turn into like such a better player.
Yeah.
Like be useful on this team.
Agreed. Yeah. You need to do that in the modern league, I think. I think the dunk spot centers are a dime a dozen, and really a dying breed.
He needs to go over to Lithuania and work out with Jock Landau. I want to see Instagram videos of Dane Pinot and Jock Landau working out in Lithuania.
He's been killing it quietly. So is Mangok Matiang. He's been playing really well too.
They're both been really good. Yeah, Landau's I think he's going to make this World Cup squad, the Olympic squad.
He has to. If the Olympics goes ahead. Ooh, there we are.
Oh, yeah, damn. Where's that at again?
Japan.
Sorry, I was about to say China, but that was the World Cup, wasn't it?
Mm.
They got that in nice and quick before that outbreak then, I guess. That's good.
They did.
Yeah, so this Phoenix team, Robertson always lights it up against Casper Ware, so we've got to be wary of him. Mitch Creek is just, he looks like a shadow. That jumper's like, there was a point in sort of before the mid part of the season where it's just like, Mitch Creek shooting jumpers, like who said he didn't have a jump shot? And then these last like 2 months, it's just been like, Mitch Creek front rimming like 6 jumpers a night. Shit, man. Like, it's just gone again. I think it's fatigue. It's tiredness.
Yeah.
He's just played way too many minutes. 34 minutes a game. It's insane. Worthy of it. Deserves it. But yeah, in the grand scheme of things, too many minutes.
Too many minutes.
And that is our wrap on the Phoenix. And that is it for tonight's episode. Slightly less salty, I think. The win... I was more just happy to see that small ball lineup and just be like, interesting, and then just be like, yeah, you just take the W. That's fine. You have that, Perth. We'll come back and we'll see you when we've worked this small ball lineup out.
2 weeks. That's what we got. 2 weeks.
No worries. And anything else we need to say before we go? On
That's
the King's
it.
Time socials all the way across the bottom, YouTube and Facebook. We do have a Patreon on this side. Make sure if you want to help us get hosting, subscribe to our Patreon and send us some dollars because that's what it goes to, getting us on there. We will be back. When will we be back? Next Monday?
Indeed, next Monday.
And we will see you guys next time
on the King's Dime.
All right, take it easy, everyone.
Peace.